going on, everyone? Full disclosure, I've got a solid circle of liberal friends, and believe it or not, we love talking politics. We debate, we challenge each other, but most importantly, we stay friends, because as comforting as it is to live in an echo chamber, it's also intellectually lazy. If you don't grow, if you're never challenged, you don't sharpen your thinking if you're never forced to justify it. And I want to mention that there was a bit of confusion around the Mamdani video that I posted. A few people in the comments said it came off as fear-mongering, which honestly surprised me. I thought I made it clear before diving into the scenario that it was a hypothetical, albeit built on actual historical events. That's how I approach these topics. Not to stir panic, but to explore possibilities through a preparedness lens. So just real quick, let me be crystal clear. This channel is not about fear-mongering, and it's definitely not about creating division. I'm not into that, and I hate when other creators lean into it for clicks. What I do here, and what Rant Strategies and Medicine in Bad Places is grounded in situational awareness, tactical realism. And, that goes across the spectrum. Now, if something feels unsettling, it's because reality is sometimes unsettling. But the goal is always to empower, not to alarm. Now, me being me, I'm relentless when it comes to lawlessness. I don't care where it's coming from, left, right, or upside down. If it's illegal, if it's violent, if it undermines the rule of law, I'm calling it out. And every time I bring this up, especially in the context of recent years, my friends that I debate with, they fire back with the same thing. Well, what about January 6th? And you know what? They're right to bring it up, because I agree. January 6th was wrong. It was lawless. It was chaotic. And anyone who claims to stand for law and order should absolutely be mortified that it happened under the banner of MAGA. That day should never be defended. It should be condemned loudly and without qualification. But here's where things get strange. The government moved fast on January 6th. Facial recognition, cell phone triangulation, geofencing. People were arrested within days, even if they were masked, even if they were from out of state or currently out of state. And honestly, that's how it should be. We're talking about Washington, D.C., one of the most surveilled, most policed cities on the planet. If you didn't know, D.C. isn't just patrolled by the Metropolitan Police Department, which is their primary law enforcement. You've also got Capitol Police, Park Police, U.S. Mint Police, the Secret Service Uniform Division, which is their police department, DC Protective Services Police, the FBI Police, the U.S. Marshals, Metro Transit Police, the DC Public School Police, DC Public Library Police, and there's probably a few more that I'm forgetting, but it's literally a fortress of overlapping jurisdictions. So explain this to me. How is it that someone, an actual legitimate terrorist, was able to plant 2 IEDs outside the DNC and RNC headquarters, and to this day remains unidentified? That's not just bizarre, that's pretty much unbelievable. And when I bring this up in debates, I'm a little stunned at the lack of outrage. I ask my friends, I'm like, guys, someone planted real explosive devices outside the Democratic National Committee. This would presumably be a MAGA-aligned individual. Why aren't we all furious about this? It's crickets. And I don't let it go because I can't. Because if we're going to talk about threats to democracy, this one is staring us in the face, and no one really seems to care. And now, here's where it gets even more surreal. This is still developing, and I'm not claiming it's 100% confirmed or anything like that, but based on independent investigations and AI-assisted gate analysis and other corroborating intel, a name has surfaced, Shuani Kirkhoff. Who is she? Well, she's a former U.S. Capitol Police officer that was later recruited into the CIA's Dignitary Protection Division, and now possibly identified as the January 6th pipe bomber. Let that sink in. A federal insider with tactical training, with access, with clearance, allegedly planning bombs outside political headquarters. If this is true, and again, this is all still under investigation, but if it's true, it's not just a scandal. It is a seismic breach of trust, and it raises questions that go far beyond partisan politics. Like, why hasn't she been arrested? Why hasn't the FBI confirmed or denied the match? Why did surveillance teams reportedly get pulled off of her location? This isn't conspiracy theory. This is a gaping hole in the narrative. And if we care about truth, if we care about justice, about national security, then we should all be demanding answers as one. Talk about a unifying thing, because if we let this slide, what else are we going to ignore? Now, look, I know this was kind of a little political tangent. I know this isn't strictly preparedness or comm-centric. It's not about radios or rescue matrices or tactical gear, but it's about something deeper. And that is situational awareness, pattern recognition, the ability to spot the cracks before they become fault lines, because with any sort of turmoil comes the need for readiness. And when events like this speak to me, when they expose vulnerabilities in our systems, our institutions, our narratives, I feel, kind of like a responsibility to put it out there, not to stir division, but to sharpen everyone's clarity. This channel isn't just about gear and tactics. It's really meant to be about mindset. It's about seeing through the fog. And if a federal insider planning bombs in DC doesn't raise alarms across the spectrum, then we've got some serious work to do. So with that, stay alert, stay curious, not just for the storms we expect, but for the ones we're told not to notice. And again, with that, we'll see you on the next one. Stay safe.